Hello, everyone. A very good afternoon to all. As you're aware, SGTech has been appointed by IMDA to run the vendor briefing sessions from May 2019. SME Go Digital program is a national program administered by IMDA together with sector agencies to support the digitalization of SMEs across 23 sectors as specified in the Industry Transformation Map. So first, the SME landscape. Today, SMEs constitute 99% of local enterprises, which make up about 2/3 of the national workforce and contribute to about 50% of the GDP. So what is the definition of an SME? Based on Enterprise Singapore's definition, a company's group annual sales turnover should not be more than 100 million, or a company group employment size is not more than 200 workers. The major concerns encountered by SMEs in their respective businesses are rising costs, especially for businesses in the sector which require rental of physical space, high turnover of staff, and that staff might not have sufficient knowledge or are not tech savvy enough to handle complex software. The whole gist of SME Go Digital program is to make going digital as simple as these 3 steps. First of all, SMEs can assess digital readiness of their business using the Industry Digital Plan. This is a step-by-step guide that helps SMEs to assess and adopt suitable digital solutions depending on the stages or readiness of their businesses. Support from the consultancy services at Digital Tech Hub. Support from the consultancy services at Digital Tech Hub has retired, and it will be succeeded by the Chief Technology Officer as a Service, a one-stop web application. Next, IMDA will guide SMEs to take the first steps with useful industry knowledge. Then you, as a vendor, would know what are the solutions needed and what are the new sectors to be added in. As such, your SME customers are able to adopt specially pre-approved digital solutions for the respective sectors, and best part of it is that it will come with a grant. Regarding point 3, where can your SMEs customers get help? They can use the Chief Technical Officer as a Service to request for digital advisory and project management services, or approach the SME centers if they require business advice. Also, just to add, Start Digital, which was launched in January 2019, is meant to help guide new startups on the type of digital solutions they should take on. It is in joint collaboration with IMDA, telcos, and banks. So these 3 steps are the end-to-end process which SMEs can reference to start their digitalization journey. Currently, we have a total of 20 IDPs for 21 ITM sectors launched to date, with the latest Precision Engineering IDP launched in November 2021. The Industry Digital Plan, IDP for short, is a step-by-step guide for SMEs. Within the IDP, solutions are articulated across 3 different stages of business growth. The categorization of solutions for respective stages are based on global trending and validation studies with the sector agencies and industry to map out the type of solutions required by the businesses. This is so that SMEs are able to spot the solution which they need based on their stage of business growth. This is an example of the digital roadmap developed for the retail sector. For a start, every retail company will need to adopt some basic technologies to stay competitive. We call those stage 1 technologies. These technologies will enable retail companies to automate their operations and the use of their resources. One example is the integrated point of sale. Okay, so after the SMEs know what type of solution they require, they can choose from a list of pre-approved solutions for the respective sectors that they can adopt hassle-free depending on their area of needs. SMEs customers are then able to enjoy funding support. Pre-approved solutions are pre-scoped with software subscription, hardware, professional services, and training required for automation of their operations. SMEs can apply for a pre-approved solution through Business Grant Portal and start the implementation with selected solution provider after the sector agency has approved the application. Currently, we have identified the demand from 20 sectors, and therefore we are looking for digital solutions to meet the requirements of those sectors on the supply side. We are looking for proven solutions, and they should meet the criteria defined in the checklist. The latest sector-specified solution included in the list is healthcare, community care. If your sector is not represented, but you have a solution that corresponds to the criteria listed in the checklist, we welcome your submissions. Besides the sector requirements, there are also digital capability requirements that apply to all sectors. These are digital capabilities like cybersecurity, data analytics, PDP, and IoT to ensure completeness and robustness of the proposed solutions. This is an overview of the vendor self-assessment checklist. There are 3 areas that IMDA is looking for in your submission. First, a proven track record. A positive net equity in your company's latest financial statement. 5 satisfied customers on contractual agreement that have utilized your solution for an extended period of more than 6 months. And also that your company has sufficient resource to handle the volume of implementation requests from the industry. Next, your desired features of your solution, and if your solution has the ability to meet sector requirements. For example, a vendor providing HRMS solution needs to adhere to IRA's tax policies, such as the auto inclusion scheme. Accounting solutions, on the other hand, need to be listed on IRA's accounting software register prior to pre-approval. Please make sure you have these in place before submission. And if your solution generates, sends, and receives digital invoices, then it needs to be PEPL ready, which is the e-invoicing standard for solutions which create and update invoices and manage sales transactions to facilitate a seamless and faster process through adherence of a standard digital format. Lastly, your solution also needs to be cloud-based. IMDA will also check if your solution can meet the industry standards and best practices, such as, does your company have a trust mark for personal data protection? Examples of solutions which collect personal unique identifier are mainly HRMS, workforce management systems, and visitor management systems. Also, the security VA for solutions which contain personal unique identifier, example, NRIC, to ensure any security loopholes are being addressed. Now I'd like to hand the time to Dominic, who will share with us more about the data protection trust mark. Dominic, over to you.
Hi, thanks, Manoj. Hi, everyone. My name is Dominic. Happy to be sharing a little bit about data protection trust mark. But before we talk about trust mark, I also like to very quickly introduce you to our new program called the Data Protection Essentials. This Data Protection Essentials is designed to help SMEs, right? Especially for you guys that are hearing this, you could be an SME. This is to help you acquire a basic level of data protection and security practice through security solutions as well as a one-stop professional service. Okay, so for the DPE, there are grants available starting from $2,300. And benefits will include being listed on our website upon completion, as well as awarded a logo. And should you encounter a data breach, having a DPE will be a potential mitigating factor in the event of a data breach. Now, so for DPE, it is a program to help you. If you don't really have anything in place, you're not so confident about data protection practices, go for the DPE. Now, what Manoj talked about would be the Data Protection Trust Mark. Now, this Data Protection Trust Mark, it is a voluntary enterprise-wide certification for you to take on to show your customers, regulators, your clients that you have accountable data protection practices in place. And this is valid for 3 years. And as I'm sure the next question will be, any grants available? Yes, there are grants available. And the benefits for this Data Protection Trust Mark is, first and foremost, it will help you to establish good data governance, making sure that whatever you have in place is validated, it is good. Number 2, it increases your competitive advantage. We have SMEs certified that share that with the trust mark, they have managed to punch above their weights to secure multi-million-dollar contracts with MNCs. All these are true stories. You can find out more on our website. We have published our stories. And last but not least, having the trust mark would allow you to demonstrate that you comply with the PDPA. What this means is that in the event of a data breach, should you encounter a data breach and you're trust mark certified, it would allow you the opportunity to request for what we call an undertaking from the PDPC. And should the undertaking be given, it will be in lieu of any investigation to your organization. So find out more, do visit our website, take a look at both our DP and Trustmark, and you can drop us an email as well. But the good thing about today is if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. So I'll hand this time back to Manoj. Thanks, Manoj. Over to you.
Thanks, Dominic. So let me go through the steps of the pre-approval process. Step 1, always attend the vendor briefing to understand the requirements. After you have attended, then you will proceed to the checklist stage. A gentle reminder that you must submit the completed checklist within 3 months of your company's attendance at the vendor briefing. Step 2 to step 3 is the checklist stage, where you need to tell us your solution is what IMDA is looking for. Do a pre-assessment of your proposed solution using the vendor's self-assessment checklist to check that it fulfills the criteria that the respective sector is looking for. After which, you will need to submit the checklist with all the stated supporting documents. After IMDA has received the completed set of documents, and if you have met all the requirements, they will invite you for a tech demo session together with a sector lead to further showcase your solutions. Just to highlight that the lead time from step 2 to step 3 is dependent on when you can submit the completed checklist. Step 4, if your solution is shortlisted, you will be issued an application form to apply. At this stage, IMDA will then guide you on how to bundle your solution into price packages. Why you'll need to do that? It is so that your SME customers can adopt the solution as hassle-free as possible. You may be aware that the Productivity Solution Grant supports companies keen on adopting IT solutions and equipment to enhance business processes. Hence, the pricing of the package must cater to micro SMEs and SMEs for easy adoption. The components scoped for the package have to be based on the purchase pattern of your customers, and the price has to be before GST. Step 5. Once your application is approved, IMDA will officially issue you a letter of appointment for a period of 12 months. Then you can start to sell to your SMEs with grant support. Once again, the prices that you state on the application form must be before GST. The next step is to accept the letter of appointment. Do note that the lead time for step 4 to step 5 is about 2 to 3 months. And finally, your solution will be published on the website. Important things to note, only submissions through the pre-approval system will be accepted. So please ensure the company's authorized representative is assigned to the e-service before using SingPass to access the system. The user guide of the system is available on IMDA website. You can scan the QR code to download a copy as a reference. If you encounter any technical issues, please take screenshots and provide IMDA a detailed explanation of the issues to send via the email address stated on the login page. From 11 April 2021, you'll be required to log in to Government Digital Services for Business using SingPass instead of PopPass. For more information, please visit go.gov.sg/corporate/login. For SingPass and the e-service assigned to your authorized rep, the authorized rep needs to create a new profile. Now, both the checklist and application must be submitted through the system. The system will not accept your checklist if you had not attended the vendor briefing in the last 3 months. If you cannot finish the submission in one go, you can save them as a draft to resume later. Mandatory fields are denoted by a red asterisk, and they must be keyed in before you can make the submission. When the sector-specific criteria is updated, the e-form via the system is also updated. This is a hyperlink that will bring you to IMDA's website. You can download the checklist, then leave the main spreadsheet empty and go directly to the sector-specific ones. Once you completed the sector-specific spreadsheets, then upload to the system. Supporting documents submitted must stick to IMDA's file naming convention. For example, please name your financial statement file as highlighted in red. To upload, click on Add Financial Statement, then a pop-up window will appear. You will then upload the file via this pop-up window. Next, I'll pass the time to Phoebe Low from IMDA, who will do a brief introduction to CTO as a service. Phoebe, over to you.
Hi, thank you, Manoj. Good afternoon, everyone. Right, so for CTO as a service, essentially IMDA has developed a one-stop platform accessible via a web application for SMEs to have quick access to various digitalization resources. With a CTO as a service, SMEs can self-assess their digital readiness and then receive a list of recommended solutions based on their business profiles. They can also search and compare functions of pre-approved digital solutions and contact the vendors via this platform. In addition, CTO as a service connects SMEs to a shared pool of digital consultants for advisory and project management services. So under CTO as a service, we have appointed Accenture and Stone Forest IT to provide digital consultancy services. Next. So SMEs can leverage the digital consultant's guidance to deepen the understanding of their business needs and priorities. The consultant will tailor digital solution and training roadmaps for the SME. The enterprise may also wish to tap on the digital consultants to help manage the digital project implementation. And that will also take into consideration the impact of their tech adoption on key stakeholders such as employers and customers. All of this is to help SMEs make the most out of their tech adoptions. Eligible SMEs can enjoy complimentary digital advisory and project management services. So what are the benefits of a CTO as a service for partners? Like yourself, solution providers, what it means for you is that your solution will be more easily discovered or searched by SME and users on the platform. With future enhancements for the platform coming up, potential SME users will be able to find ratings and read about the reviews of the solutions available. This will instill trust and confidence in your solution. To the SMEs, CTO as a service is a one-stop platform to address most of their digitalization needs, helping them make informed decisions faster. Next. So here's a recap of the key features of a CTO as a service. You may wish to scan the QR code here and access the platform. You can also consider bookmarking it for reference at any time later on. This concludes my sharing on CTO as a service. Thank you. Back to you, Manoj.
Thanks, Phoebe. So next I'll share about Invoice Now. IMDA implemented the nationwide e-invoicing network in early 2019. It is not, however, a purely Singapore-based network. It has been around for more than 12 years, adopted across more than 30 countries, and transacting over 100 million transactions annually. It's probably the most matured cross-border network of its kind. The pandemic has taught us how important it is to have such a fundamental business function, such as invoicing, to be digitalized. And so this initiative aims to streamline your business operations, increase accuracy, which in turn reduces unnecessary rework, improve cash flow, and of course, contributing to the nation achieving its goal as a green economy. In January 2020, AGD, which is the Central Office for all Invoice to Government Ministries and Agencies, was inducted into the network that gives all 22,000 government suppliers a preferred way to send invoices. It is to help businesses improve efficiency, reduce costs, facilitate cross-border business transactions, enjoy faster payment, reduce usage of paper invoices. Invoice Now was announced in September 2020 during the Future Economy Conference exhibition. Today, if you think about paying a person or business quickly and digitally, the first thing that comes to mind is PayNow. PayNow saw a tremendous growth as the go-to method of sending money, and similarly, there has been a large uptake in business using e-invoicing. Thus, e-invoicing has been rebranded to Invoice Now to further emphasize the relationship between e-payment and e-invoicing. IMDA is delighted to partner with DBS, OCBC, UOB, along with the Association of Banks in Singapore, to develop solutions which provide a flow to these basic functions. This process will allow an invoice that is sent through Invoice Now to be paid through the popular e-payment channel PayNow. By linking these solutions together, the process is now 3 simple steps. When a vendor and customer is on board the network, all the vendor needs to do is send an invoice via Invoice Now to the UEN of the customer. Upon receiving the invoice, the customer verifies it, and if they choose to, they send a PayNow payment to the vendor. The vendor is notified of the payment and the process is complete. While the journey above may be more reflective of an SME journey, we recognize that different companies will have different needs. To address these different needs, there are over 80 IMDA pre-approved service providers who offer Invoice Now capabilities. This means whether you are a large or small company, there is an Invoice Now service provider for you. Over time, we look forward to more service providers connecting their Invoice Now solutions to the e-payment channels like PayNow and extending these benefits across all businesses. This infographic of how Invoice Now works when an e-invoice is sent from the seller to the buyer, step 1 to step 2, and how the invoice can be quickly processed by the buyer and paid by various e-payment methods such as PayNow to the seller in step 3. Let's watch the promotional video for the benefits of Invoice Now.
Great! Business is going well, work is getting delivered, and you're already planning to expand. But you wouldn't get the cash flow you need without invoicing. So you spend hours manually preparing paper invoices only for your client to lose it or have it rejected because of mistakes, which would cause delayed payments that will slow your business down. But with Invoice Now, you can now get paid faster. With it, you can send e-invoices directly to your clients via the nationwide e-invoicing network with existing solutions. Just activate Invoice Now on your PEPL Ready solution. Now, create your invoice. Select your client's PEPL ID. Key in your invoice details, and you're good to go. Paperless, effortless, and seamless. Your invoice will be able to reach all businesses on the entire network. And with Invoice Now's standardized format, your clients will be able to process invoices and payments quicker too. That means you can enjoy smoother invoicing, faster payments, and a great way to save the environment. Join the network and grow your business today. Invoice Now. Get paid faster.
Hope that video gives you a clearer picture of how Invoice Now works on the business end. To further clarify what is and not Invoice Now. When businesses are on the network, Invoice Now allows one party using a finance solution to send invoices straight into the other party's different accounting or ERP system without manual intervention such as printing the invoice or keying it in. Which means the receiving end just needs to look and verify that the line items are indeed what has been ordered or purchased and send it to accounts payable. Next, I'll briefly share about the PEPL network. This initiative operates on the international PEPL network. What you see here is an ecosystem where the businesses are on the outermost circle and are connected by business systems, which are the PEPL-ready solutions. PEPL-ready solution providers are connected by access point providers. An access point is essentially the gateway to the PEPL network. We currently have more than 30 access points, and they each signed an agreement with IMDA, the PEPL authority. For solutions to be PEPL-ready, they can select one of the 30 access points providers and work with them to get your solution ready. Once businesses are on the network, they are able to send and receive e-invoices to each other. And that sums up what PEPL is and how Invoice Now operates. To summarize the benefits of Invoice Now from the video and throughout the presentation, it is a streamlined process to reduce manual inputs with system-to-system transmission. It allows for faster payment and less use of printing in PDF invoices, creating a greener business. Here are the criteria to become a PEPL-ready solution provider. PEPL-ready solution providers are platforms such as accounting or enterprise resource planning systems which provide Invoice Now features. For more information, you can go to the link here or write into einvoice@imda.gov.sg. For additional information on Invoice Now, you can go to www.peplguide.sg. As we grow the Invoice Now network, we are expanding the supported document types available in the network. From our earlier surveys and study, we have found that Invoice Response and e-ordering are two documents that businesses would like to have further support their business processes. Hence, we have implemented these new documents as preferred features. Invoice Response is a document from the buyer to supplier, providing a status update on the supplier's invoice on the buyer's accounting system. This enables suppliers to receive the status of their invoice, such as message acknowledgement, accepted, and rejection, so that the need for follow-ups will be greatly reduced. E-ordering comes in two different documents, being order-only and ordering. Order-only is a one-way document from buyer to supplier with details of the order. Ordering is where, on top of the order-only document, the supplier is able to respond with the order status, whether it's accepted or rejected, amongst other things. Solution providers can choose to implement order-only or ordering, or both. Businesses can choose to receive orders even if they may not be generating orders themselves. Solution providers without order functionality may choose to simply ingest and display incoming orders and potentially flip it to an invoice for more advantageous two-way match at the buyer's side. Some benefits of Invoice Now includes the interoperability of its documents, allow businesses to manage their cash flows, and most importantly, allows for operational efficiency. Invoice Now allows for businesses to send and receive business documents in a standardized and digitalized way. This allows for interoperability between multiple systems supporting the Invoice Now standard. Also, with Invoice Now, reduced manpower effort and data entry errors can be achieved since it's digitalized. It allows for orders to be converted to invoices with ease and accuracy. Manual follow-ups can also be reduced as statuses for orders or invoices are directly fed into the system via the response documents. Next, I'd like to introduce Mr. Adrian Long, who is part of the SME Go Digital committee in SGTech. He will elaborate on how SGTech can help you and the industry on this program. Adrian, over to you.
Thanks, Manoj. Hi, everyone. Nice to see everyone here again. Let me introduce who is SGTech and also some of the programs which we can work together to bring you towards to ride the digitalization wave. The SGTech is 40 years old, established in is a leading trade association for the Singapore tech industry. So we're representing more than 1,000 members company. So we're ranging from top MNCs, large local enterprise, vibrant SME, and innovative startup. Is considered as the largest community in Singapore, where company leverage to advocate for change and also drive what enables tech innovations and also to accelerate the tech adoptions to spur greater sustainability in the sectors itself. So basically, SGTech mission is to categorize a driven ecosystem that powers Singapore as a global tech powerhouse. So in terms of the organization structure, on the top portion, we have the strategy and the governance. We have the board of governors and also the council. Then we come down with the steering committees, encompasses the digital and data node, sustainability and tech talent. And we also have the various chapters for you all to join, ranging from AI and HPC chapters, which I will elaborate further later on, and cybersecurity, cloud and data, digital transformation, Singapore enterprise chapters, and smart nation chapter itself. And then we also have the various committee, ranging from data center committee, digital trust, AgTech, and game committee, tech next wave, next gens committee itself. And then the other portion will be the data protections advisory committee and government procurement advisory committee, and SME Go Digital advisory committee, which is you're participating in one of the activities today. So in terms of the supporting industry, based on the chapters itself, so we have the main one will be the AI and high performance computing chapter. This basically helps to demystify AI for business so as to increase the adoptions and also create awareness on data ethics, governance of AI and opportunity. And cybersecurity chapter, as the term stated, it actually promotes awareness and adoption of cybersecurity among organizations in Singapore, and basically to boost a pipeline of talents, because we actually lack of talents in the cybersecurity aspect. So to ensure the continuing viability of this Singapore cybersecurity industry. Then we have the cloud and data chapters. So these chapters aims to help business understand going on to cloud and drive adoptions, and to drive adoption of the cloud technology, and then also addressing concerns and thereby trying to build a more robust business model, opening up new opportunity for all our members itself. Then we have the digital chapter. That covers, that actually gathers all the like-minded company with various specialties. So with the common aim of accelerating innovations to drive the successful digital transformation of Singapore businesses. Then we have the Singapore Enterprise chapter, which I am also see in this chapters itself. These chapters encompasses the tech and non-tech companies coming together, and then aims to promote and build an active and healthy ecosystem of our local tech SME, and also vital for Singapore digital transformation. And now we also focus a bit on the venturing overseas by leveraging on the strengths of consortium members coming together under this chapter itself. So this is the chapter which will have all the non-tech company, basically is your end user, which we are able to match you with, so that you can actually achieve the 5 satisfied customers as a form of submission for the PSG grant, pre-approved grants vendor. And then we have the Smart Nation chapters, basically engage Smart Nations Digital Government Office and also the relevant stakeholders with a focus on built environment sectors, and also trying to encourage local solutions to integrate with the local and international offering itself. So being a member of SGTech, you have a choice to select one of the chapter, and you also can add on other chapters which are of interest to you to participate and join us as one family. Then we have the committees, which you can also, after you have joined the chapters, you can also start to go into the committee aspects. They basically have the Data Protection Advisory Committee. This is to uplift the awareness and adoption of new data protection, which is a key thing in the industry now, and also as well as data innovations development in Singapore. And then we had the digital trust, formation of a data trust ecosystem to develop a new trust industry that acts as a catalyst for deeper collaboration between companies and countries, and also establish Singapore as the tech industry as the leader in digital trust technology itself. Then we have the AgTech committee, basically to support and development of a local tech enable education business to grow within and beyond Singapore, and also drive the adoption of technology as an enabler. Then there are those who are in the game business, game industries. This will be of interest to you. Basically, we represent the game industry in Singapore and in the region with an aim to drive growth and education and investment. Okay, this on the left-hand side, those the committee, you have a choice to also join them. while on those on the right hand side, these are currently not open to members of SGTech itself. So we had the government procurement advisory committee. Basically, the committee members are being selected will engage GovTech in conversations on government procurement policies and regulations, and in order to enhance the partnership with the industry and drive mutually beneficial outcomes. Then the next gen network committee, there's actually a formation of the next gen network committee to aim to be a front runner for innovation in both the secure and resilience 5G application and services. And then it also aims to promote and create awareness of the latest technology, trying to work closely with the end user, technology provider, integrator, consultant, even the TAC, the telcos, institutions, and also government agencies itself. The other one will be the SME Go Digital Advisory Committee. So it actually formed to support of the SME Go Digital program. So it amends the government effort to encourage the listing of tech solution by tech enterprise, and in so doing, help to spur the digital transformation across the various industries. The 123 Jumpstarts Committee basically help the tech startup in particular to grow and succeed by assisting them with access to funding opportunity, industry networks, training, and services. So as part of the effort, being the tech partner itself, being an SGTech member, so you can actually participate in the tech partner program. So as part of the effort to promote productivity and innovation. So tech partner is a platform for technology vendors to collaborate and establish new partnerships with other vendors of their businesses. So a technology can tap onto this platform to seek technology partnership. So certain things you may be lacking, but you can come to this platform to join and select or collaborate with the potential partners which you have to deliver solutions for the customers itself. Then we also have a reseller and distribution partnership. So once the relationship nurture, you can go to the extent of establish a distributor or a reseller partnership itself. And the other aspect will be strategic partnership that goes beyond Singapore. So they have partners from other countries to be able to collaborate with you as a member of SGTech itself. And any other form of partnership is also a possibility. So we have international forming content consortium to reach the international market. These are some of the examples which I can illustrate from here. So if you join the tech partner program as a SGTech member, is complimentary. However, if you are not, then there will be a payment, a fee to be paid for. So we are excited. In fact, SGTech have through the past 2 years have been aggressively trying to get in touch or outreach to the industry itself. So we have all these like upcoming events, like for one example, with the CXO in competition with guest of honor GOH Min, Mr. Tan Kek Hao, and even providing industrial news for all our members. Okay, so one example is the SGTech setup of the Digital Trust Committee, and you will be furnished with annual survey so that you can actually voice out your concerns in the industries, and from there we will be providing you with the annual reports itself, so that to guide you through the whole process of digitalizations. And also Smart Nations chapters, the tech trends. So occasionally they will have programs, either is a webinar or a face-to-face meeting or presentation, just to share with you whatever things are happening in the local context in the tech industries. So currently we have the LinkedIn. So currently we have about more than 10,000 followers. Oh, that's great. And then we have the Facebook itself, okay, which you can just join in as a non-member or member itself, okay, and follow our activities. So it's a very excited industry, and we urge every one of you to consider. Those who have not joined us, do sign up as a member today. So those who attend the tender briefing today, you will receive a 10% discount off the membership fees. So by scanning the QR code, just join us. Okay, we look forward for your participations. With that, thank you very much. Back to Manoj.
Thank you, Adrian. Next, I'll pass the time to Enoy, who will be sharing with us more about SingPass. Enoy, over to you.
Okay, hi everyone. Thank you, Manoj. So good afternoon all. I'm Enoy from the SingPass Industrial Engagement Office. So I'm here today to share with you about SingPass and how you can actually incorporate the APIs into your digitalization plans. So next screen. Okay, thank you. So in this next slide, I would like to share with you is that Smart Nation is not just about harnessing the smart technology to the fullest, it's also creating opportunities for everyone living in Singapore. So in the cornerstone of this Smart Nation vision is actually the national digital identity. So it's created to improve the lives of our citizens, as well as to create opportunities for your business as well. It is more than just a digital credential. For citizens, it provides them with a secure way and convenient way to transact with your business, not just the government agencies. So it also provides a ready access to their personal information while they are on the go. Your business will be able to leverage on this SingPass digital ecosystem of trust to ultimately improve your customers' experience. And thus, what we have done here is build a platform of products that your business or organization can easily integrate with into your system. Next slide. Okay. Over here, you see that we have 6 SingPass products, and the gateways to these services are through the SingPass of the citizens. With MyInfo, you can acquire the data of the users from the government sources directly with the user's consent. Next, we have login, where you can leverage onto our passwordless login authentication, which allows your customer to access your online services without having to key in their ID and password. In the third product, we have verify, where you can use it to identify your customer during physical premise setting. For the fourth one, we have sign with SingPass, is actually enabling you to offer a more secure digital signing to your end users or customers. For Identiface, which is also known as facial verification, it provides your business with an alternative way to verify your users' identity with their consent. And with just the customer's NRIC or PIN number and getting their consent to scan their facial data, you can authenticate them against the government's biometric database. This product can be used to do step-up authentication for sensitive transactions. And lastly, authorize. This actually allows your business like you to notify and seek remote authorization from your customers to carry out certain transactions. So over here, the products that I've shared with you are able to work independently of each other. And I will elaborate more on the upcoming slides. Next one. Okay, here we have MyInfo. So manual form filling is a thing of the past. MyInfo is actually a consent-based data sharing platform where your customers can authorize your business to retrieve their data via SingPass. And in turn, your business will be able to get the data with confidence because the data obtained come from the government sources directly. And what it means for you, you will be able to do efficient KYC upon obtaining the explicit consent from your customer, and thus faster turnaround time can be expected for the online applications that your customers are doing. This also improves your customers' experience by providing an increased convenience for them, as the data is automatically retrieved and populated into the digital application forms. This also increases productivity at your end because you no longer need to wait for the documentation to reach you and use manual intervention in order to check all the data that was provided from your customers. Next slide. Okay, so over here you can see some of the instant services that your customer can use, such as bank account applications, credit or debit card applications, loan applications as well. And the results do speak for themselves. The businesses have reported higher usage from their customers. there are also an increase in approvals due to the better data quality. And most importantly, a reduction in the transaction time, which translates to satisfied customer and also streamlined user journeys. Next. So let's talk about SingPass login now. I'm sure many of you are familiar with this. So just bear with me and let us take a look at a quick video to see how it works. Okay, as seen in the video over here, your user do not need to remember another set of login credentials. All they need to do is scan the QR code using their SingPass mobile app, authenticate themselves on the mobile app, and they are able to access your e-service directly. Next screen. So the process actually looks very fast and simple, but do not be mistaken. This process is actually highly secured, and login is actually a very convenient way for your customers to access your e-service. And over here, how does it benefit you? First of all, you can actually say goodbye to all the users. I forgot my password issues. It can relieve you of the operation overheads where you need to reset the passwords for your users, and your business can leverage on the SingPass authentication system without needing to build your own biometric or ID database, and is making available to you directly 4 million SingPass users. So next slide. Let us move on now to Verify. What's Verify API? So let me quickly actually brief you through how it works. So a customer will be able to go to your physical setting where they can scan the QR code that is on premise, and by providing consent to your organization, they are able to share their personal data directly to your e-service. And all this can be done through the SingPass mobile app. This facilitates the collection of their personal information, reduces the waiting time that's involved to register them, as well as provide them with a seamless registration process. Next slide. And over here, you can look at some examples of where Verify is used. Like in the healthcare industry, SingPass, the SingHealth polyclinics actually use this to register their patients. And for real estate, we have the Republic Plaza that is using this to register their visitors. And lastly, charities can actually use this to pre-register their donors on site before the donation is actually being made. So let us move on to the next slide. Here we have Sign with SingPass, which you can start to offer digital signing to your customers. Next slide. Okay. Over here, you can see a very few, some of the screens that show you how it works. So your customer will be able to scan the QR code that's being embedded in the document that they want to sign. And next, what happens is that the reference code will appear on the document as well as on the mobile app. Your customer will then verify that the reference code matches, and then click on the Authenticate Signing button that appears on the SingPass mobile app. And they will be required to authenticate themselves, and the document will get signed. This is a very straightforward process. And what happens here is that we have authenticated the identity of the user using SingPass. And because they have consented to the signer's identity binding to the document, you can be sure that the document is actually signed by the signer itself. And if you choose to integrate Sign with SingPass into your document management system, you can also opt to do it in the way where you work with one of our signing partners over here at the bottom right-hand corner, who have already pre-integrated Sign with SingPass to their platform to help businesses like you roll out Sign with SingPass. Okay, in this next screen, I'll share with you what makes Sign with SingPass stand out. The signature that's being made here comes with high assurance. It proves the signing party's identity as well as provide integrity of the document. The digital signature that's recognized under the Singapore's Court of Law, as these signatures made with Sign with SingPass are being regarded as secure electronic signatures under the Singapore's Electronic Transaction Act. And by leveraging on Sign with SingPass, your organization can enjoy cost savings from the elimination of paper-related processes, as everything can be done seamlessly online and remotely. Next slide. So over here, as a summary, these are our suite of SingPass products, from the quick and easy passwordless login that you can provide to your customer with SingPass. You can also increase the convenience for your customers by providing them the hassle-free form filling with MyInfo. SingPass can also help you with customer registration using the Verify API. The next one will be that you can do away with the physical signing and use Sign with SingPass, where you can integrate with one of our signing partners and tap into their solutions for this integrated service. Next slide. And if you are keen to find out more about the rest of the APIs or the APIs that I've just shared in the summary, do take a moment to scan the QR code over here on the screen. Or you can also go to the link that I will share later in the chat. And in the form, you can actually share with us the interest that you have in the various products, and you can share with us how you think you might incorporate these products into your customer's journey. Upon your submission of interest, one of us and the Industrial Engagement Office will be reaching out to you to share with you about the onboarding journey and to also address any questions that you might have. Or if you have any questions, you can actually put it in the Q&A below later. We can speak to you about this later. And thank you very much for your attention. And back to you, Manoj.
Thank you, Inoy. We've now come to the FAQ segment of the briefing. Before we open the floor to questions, let me go through some of the common FAQs we have received. First question, my solution is a proven solution used by many MNCs, government agencies, and or SMEs from other countries for many years. But I do not have any local SME customers. Can I submit my solution for pre-approval? The answer is no. You will need to provide customer reference from your local SME customers. As part of the evaluation process, we need to assess if your solution can fully meet the needs of local SMEs that your company has the necessary track record in serving local SMEs. Next question, does the business nature of the 5 certified customers have to be from the same sector of the checklist submission? The answer is yes. The objective of the 5 satisfied customers is to ascertain your solution is proven in the particular sector and customers whom have used your solutions are happy on the productivity benefits. Question 3. My solution has been very established overseas but has yet to launch locally. Would my overseas clients be qualified as part of satisfied customers? The answer is no. The 5 satisfied customer submission have to demonstrate their solutions are implemented locally. Next question, how long must the satisfied SMEs be using my solution before they are qualified to fill up the customer satisfaction survey? It will depend on the solution and the nature of usage. Customers should have sufficient time to use and verify all the major functionalities of the solution, especially the mandatory features indicated in the checklist. Question 5. My solution is a software as a service base that anyone in the world can sign up and use, including SMEs in Singapore. I have more than 5 satisfied Singapore SME customers. My company can provide 24/7 by 365 days customer support from outside Singapore. Can I submit my solution for pre-approval? The answer is no. Currently, we are unable to pre-approve solution vendors that have no presence in Singapore. You must either set up a local office or partner a local reseller to offer your solution. Your local office or partner may submit the solution for pre-approval if it meets all the mandatory requirements stated in the vendor self-assessment checklist. Next question. My solution meets the requirements of multiple solution categories in the vendor self-assessment checklist. Which checklist should I submit, or can I submit more than one solution for pre-approval? If your solution meets the requirements of multiple solution categories, you may choose to submit multiple vendor assessment checklists for your solution to be pre-approved under the respective solution categories. Each submitted checklist must come with its own set of supporting documents as specified in the checklist such as 5 satisfied customer surveys and invoices. Question 7. My solution is widely utilized by SMEs in many industries, but is not listed in any of the solution categories in the checklist. Is my solution eligible to be pre-approved under SME Go Digital program? IMDA works with respective sector agencies to create the type of digital solutions which benefit the SMEs within the industry. As long as your solution fulfills the criteria stated in the checklist, we welcome your checklist submission with all the supporting documents. Next question, is hardware bundled within packages applicable for grant? In general, commodity hardware such as desktop computers, laptop, or tablets that is widely available for purchase in the market is not supportable by grant. In some solution categories, specialized hardware needed for the solution to properly function may be supportable, such as vehicle tracking device in fleet management solutions, video camera in surveillance and analytics, and retail analytics solutions, sensors in bin monitoring and management solutions. Question 9. I'm a reseller of a proven solution and it is already pre-approved under PSG. Can I still participate in the program? The answer is yes. We are looking at track records of both solution and service support rendered by the digital solution provider. Principal solution provider may be an appointed vendor with the same solution. You can still participate in SME Go Digital program as long as onboard requirements are fulfilled. Question 10. My company doesn't require audited financial statement. Would management accounts be sufficient for submission? Answer is yes. Please provide the endorsed management accounts with company stamp and ACRA director signature. Next question. My company is incorporated for less than 1 year. Can I submit the financial statement of the parent company instead? Answer is yes, as long as your company is fully owned by the parent company. Next question. What is the definition of positive net equity? The net equity is total assets minus total liabilities in the latest audited financial statement or endorsed management account have to demonstrate a positive value. Okay, that is all for the FAQs. If you want to refer to the FAQs again, they are available on the SGD website at www.sgd.org.sg. Recording of today's briefing will also be made available on the website, and we have recently updated the MCQ form for registering your attendance when you watch the recorded vendor briefing. Before your submission, please ensure all these points are addressed. Ensure that you're using the latest version of the completed checklist. Ensure all tabs within the vendor self-assessment checklist are filled with supporting notes to ascertain the features of proposed solution. Ensure 3 years of financial statements are submitted. A positive net equity in the latest statement is mandatory. If your company is incorporated less than 3 years, you can submit all the audited financial statements to date to complete your submission. Ensure only one solution category of the sector-specific tab is to be filled up. For re-application, previously submitted 5 satisfied customers cannot be reused. Lastly, ensure that your company details are filled up correctly in the SME Go Digital pre-approval system. By failing to fulfill the above points without any valid reason will attribute to the delay in processing of your submission. So please make sure you check those. To recap, this is the onboarding requirement to get your pre-approved solutions approved by IMDA. With effect from now, all new contracts will be approved to a 1+1 year contract appointment. After you get approval, your solution will be listed on the business grant portal and your SME customer to apply for grant support. You can ask your SME customer to find out about their eligibility by contacting the number stated or email directly for advice. Now, before we go into the Q&A, I'd like to hand over the time to Kok Yong from IMDA, who will demonstrate how to fill up the vendor assessment checklist and share about important requirements for pre-approval. Kok Yong, over to you.
Thanks, Manoj. My name is Kok Yong. I'm from the SMEs Go Digital division. In this section, I will be running through with you what are some of the documents that you need to provide as part of your checklist submission. And I hope to also share with you some of the common problems that we have witnessed over the past few years of administering the PSG program. Yeah, right. So as you can see on the screen, this is a list of required documents that you need to provide when you initiate a checklist submission to us through our online system. Right, the first document here, the vendor self-assessment checklist. This is a document that you can actually download from the IMDA website. Alternatively, you can also go to the SGTech website where you have actually signed up for the vendor briefing session to get a copy of the self-assessment checklist. So the vendor self-assessment checklist is segregated in accordance to the sector that your solution is targeting. So look under the right sector and download the relevant checklist to use. Okay. Yeah. So there are various solution categories included within the checklist itself. So do find the solution category that is best addressed by your solution, right? The second document that you need to provide is actually the solution brochure. So essentially, this is a write-up of the capabilities of your solution. You can include screenshots. You can include detailed write-up of the solution features. So how we use this solution is to map it against the mandatory criteria or mandatory requirements for that solution category that you are submitting for. We would then, this would actually help us to ascertain that your solution is indeed achieving the mandatory requirements that we are looking out for the particular solution category, right? So the third item here in the list is actually the 5 satisfied SME survey, complemented or supplemented with the 5 corresponding invoices. So the customer satisfaction survey can also be the template for use. Can also be you can also get it from the vendor's self-assessment checklist. So when you download, you actually get the zip file. And within the zip file itself, right, it will also contain the customer satisfaction survey template where you can actually extend it to your customer, get them to build up the survey. They need to provide their satisfaction ratings of using your solution. They need to provide productivity savings of using the solution. They need to endorse it by an authorized personnel. Yeah. The fourth item here is actually the vulnerability assessment report. This is a mandatory requirements for some of the solution categories, especially those that handles personal data, right? And for other solution categories, it is good to have for you to also subject your solution through a VA scanner so that you can address some of the security gaps and to ensure that you do not face any downstream implications related to security. Yeah. The fifth item is actually the past 3 years financial statement. So you need to provide a 3 years financial statement. This is to give us assurance that you are in good financial health and financial standing, right? Last but not least, you need to provide proof of Invoice Now account to show that you have already onboarded to the PEPO network. Yeah. Next slide, please. Okay. Yeah. So coming back to the vendor self-assessment checklist. So this is how the checklist would look like. It contains 7 tabs in the checklist. You're required to fill up all 7 tabs. So I will go through each and every one of these tabs here, right? So the first tab, we call it instruction tab. So the instruction tab will actually contain instruction of how to fill up the checklist. It will also contain the version history, what are the changes leading up to the version, the current version, right? The second tab is the main tab, right? So for this tab, you're supposed to provide your company profile. You're supposed to share a little bit on your support, company support, company strength, how many technical folks do you have to support your customer, right? So all the fields within the main tab has to be filled up, right? The third tab is actually the sector specific requirements tab. I'll go into the third tab in the subsequent few slides, so I'll just skip it for now. The fourth to the seventh tab, right? Cybersecurity, personal data protection, data analytics, and also Internet of Things. These are some of these tabs are actually capturing some of the common requirements that's applicable across all digital solutions. Right, so you are also required to provide inputs to all these tabs, right? So you know, as part of our evaluation experience, we do come across vendors that have actually left the fourth to the seventh tab blank lah. So you are not supposed to do that. You're supposed to look at the requirements within the fourth to the seventh tab, and also to provide your inputs to the requirements within all these tabs. Yeah. Next slide, please. All right. Okay. So this is the illustration of the sector-specific requirements tab. In this case, right, the one that you see on the screen is actually the generic sector. For the generic sector. Yeah. So at the topmost, right, you will be able to see a listing of all the solution categories that are included within that sector. Find the one that your solution is able to best address and click on that solution. Next slide, please. You will actually be linked to the specific requirements for that particular solution category, right? And the requirements for that solution categories are actually segregated into mandatory and preferred. So for mandatory requirements, you are supposed to comply with. So all mandatory requirements has to be complied with. And you have to provide the corresponding justification in terms of whether is it a screenshot or a short write-up in the rightmost column under the comments column. Next slide, please. And for preferred requirements, you have the options to indicate whether are you able to comply, or whether is it you are not complying or not applicable, right? And if you have indicated no or not applicable for the preferred requirement, it's recommended for you to also share with us your product roadmap, your future plans to comply with this preferred requirement, because further down the road, right, we may switch all these preferred requirements to become mandatory requirements. Right. Next slide, please. Right, and for some of the solution categories, as indicated here in the slide, e-commerce, digital marketing, retail solutions, personal care solutions, and also digital ordering under food services. So for these 5 categories of solution, you will notice that in the sector-specific requirement tab, there's also an additional Excel file that is embedded within. So this file is mandatory for you to provide your proposed solution, proposed packages, so that we have better assurance and better appreciation of your proposed scope of service upfront. Yeah. Next slide, please. Right. So yeah. So for the satisfied SME survey form, do ensure that the survey form is endorsed by an authorized representative from your customer. It has to be accompanied with a company stamp. You need to ensure that the name and version of the solution indicated on the survey form itself tally with whatever you have indicated in your submission to us in the system. Right. Do ensure that the productivity indicators fields are all updated accurately with the actual data. And for e-commerce and digital marketing solution categories, do ensure that you include the website links within the survey form. Next slide, please. Yeah, and for the accompanying invoice, do ensure that your invoice is segregated in accordance to these 5 subcategories here. So we need you to be able to break down your costs in accordance to these 5 items here: software, hardware, professional services, training, and also others. Yeah. Next slide, please. Yeah, so with the approval of the submission, each appointment as a PSG vendor is for 1 year, with the option for extension for another year. So vendors must meet the extension criteria of minimally achieving 5 adoption over the past 1 year and have 0 unresolved complaints at the point of extension for the PSG appointment to be extended. Yeah, so this criteria is subjected to changes, and the changes will be communicated subsequently. Right. We also like to highlight that no reminders will be provided to vendors prior to the contract expiry, and vendors should take initiative to put forth a new submission for a new appointment. Next slide, please. Okay, so at the moment, these are the contract extension criteria. So you need to achieve at least 5 SMEs adoption over the past 1 year. There should not be any unresolved complaints or feedback. And lastly, you must not breach any of the terms and conditions. Next slide, please. We'd also like to highlight some vendors' commitment that you should be aware of. Right, so do educate your company's key stakeholders with PSG rules, policies, and regulations so that everybody is aligned. Right, PSG vendors should drive PSG adoption and maintain a good track record for service delivery. PSG vendors should develop your own customer escalation matrix so that in the event that your customer face any issue, there is someone for them to escalate the issue to. And lastly, please be reminded to adhere to the PSG rules, policies, and regulations. Next slide, please. Yeah, so the next 2 slides, I'll be highlighting some don'ts for you to be aware of as part of the pre-approval journey, right? So it's essential for vendors to abide by the clauses in our terms and conditions. And the first 4 documents mentioned in this slide will be provided to you during your appointment as a pre-approved vendor, right? So I've actually highlighted some of the clauses that are important for you to be aware of. Yeah, so if you could take a look at the clause 3.2.6 on the program guide of our PSG contract, vendors should not offer nor share with your customers any form of incentives or government grants. Vendors should not offer incentives in the form of extra modules, free services, discounts, cashback, or free gifting of hardware or any additional items that's not part of the pre-approved solution packages. Marketing-wise, vendors are discouraged from launching advertising promotion that bundle free PSG non-supportable components with PSG packages. So whenever you are in doubt, right, you are encouraged to write in to us to clarify before launching any marketing campaigns or programs. Right. We do understand that some SMEs may face maybe going through a difficult period and may face financial difficulties. So under such scenario, SMEs are actually encouraged to approach banks or make their own credit arrangement without your involvement, right? So do take note of this, right? Alignment of quotations and invoices to approve pricing packages. The PSG bundle is final as per the latest approved copy of the Annex 3, and no amendments should occur in the quotation or invoices issued to the SME's customer. Yeah, so this may run into any audit issue should there be any discrepancy in terms of the invoice itemized description in the invoice and also what has been pre-approved by us. Next slide, please. Right, so additionally, pertaining to clause 3.2.3, the scope of service provided to your customer should be based on the latest approved PSG pricing packages. So all components of the package should be provided, and vendors should not switch out or reduce items or offer any trade for services. Right? So for clause 4.1.2d on the program guide of our contract, vendors are reminded that all BGP applications must be submitted and managed by their customers only. So vendors should not be guiding your customers or filling up the application on their behalf. So by doing so, will result in a breach of clause 4.1.2d. If in doubt, please refer your customers to the online guide on Business Grant Portal or contact the SME centers for assistance. Right, as the terms and conditions will be provided together with the LOA. So by saying that you are not familiar with the T&Cs or not being aware of the T&C is not a good reason for breaching the clauses in the LOA. Yeah. Next slide, please. Yeah, so these are some of the common problems faced by the pre-approved vendors. I'll take a pause here for y'all to take a look at all these items here. Yeah, so you can also get a copy of the slide after you have actually filled out the satisfaction survey. Then you can actually refer to all these common issues in a copy of the slide that's circulated. Yeah. Next slide, please. Yeah, so just to reiterate, the consequences of breaching the terms and conditions in the LOA would result in the issuance of a warning letter. And for more severe cases, right, you could also result in suspension in the BGP or termination of your pre-approved appointment. Yeah, that's the end of my section. Back to you, Manoj.
Thank you, Kok Yong. Okay, we've now come to the Q&A portion. Before you ask any questions, let me share with you some things to note. First of all, not all questions will be answered. Second, questions that have been covered during the FAQ will not be prioritized. And lastly, questions regarding grants and claims will not be answered. Kindly be reminded that all participants are limited to 2 questions, and please don't type your questions in the chat box. Please key in the QA so that we capture all of it. So as you're typing your questions, I'll hand over the time to Kok Yong to take us through the Q&A. Kok Yong, over to you.